Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out a slightly jazzy version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. There are many, many fantastic arrangements and performances of this song. What I'm trying to give you here is one that uses mostly basic jazz chords, and I'll give you a few optional kind of fancy pants things that you might want to throw in, or you can just stick to the slightly simplified versions of them if you choose. Let's get to a close-up and check it out. For the introduction, I'm basically playing G major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7 to D7. But if you want to start playing a little bit more fancy with it, you're already, if you play it this way, you're already picking out the melody a little. So you're targeting that note and that note. Then for the A minor, you can either have this little A minor 9 to D7. Okay, I'm just using my little finger down on the 7th fret, the thinner string. Otherwise it's just a straight bar. Play the bass note in the thinnest 3 strings, and then just moving it down. This is a D9, I suppose. You can hit the melody that way, but also if you don't want to be quite so blatant, I quite like this movement as well, which is slightly stretchier A minor 9, little finger in the 9th fret, first finger in the 5th fret there, with the bass note as well. So that's not 5th fret muted, or not played rather, 9th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret. And then you've just got this little line, and then putting the D in the bass note for the last note. Making it a D7 flat 9, which is nothing then 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, and then it's going back to G major or G6 9 sometimes. Again, this is there are lots of substitutions that you can choose here in jazz and or jazzy arrangements, and some of it is just going to be a choice. I've thought like, oh, this time I'll use this chord, but it's different every time I do it a little bit. So to be honest, I can't even remember which one I did in the intro or which version, because I filmed like 3 different intros and I probably did them slightly different every time as well. So you might choose to use a G major 7 there, or oftentimes if you got a G major 7 you could try using this G6 9 chord here, 3rd fret, 2nd fret on the 3rd and 4th strings, and the 3rd fret there on the 2nd string. Both the G major 7 and G6 9 will both commonly work as a G major 7th kind of sound. I want to point out here as well, if you're like, I don't know any of these chords, you probably want to go and check out the 10 basic jazz chord shapes, because that's mostly what we're going to be using for this, and then I'm going to give you some options there. I don't have time really in this lesson to go through and explain exactly how to play each of the chords, so do go and check that lesson out if you're not familiar with any of these scripts so far. So we've got the basic chord progression for the intro, the G major 7, E minor 7, then A minor 7, D7 flat 9, then G major 7 again. If you want to pick out the melody, A minor 9, D7 now, or D9. Sometimes I play this one, which is a D sharp 5, D augmented. It just works for it. You could use any of these kind of different altered chords, but this one seems to sit nicely with the harmony of the song. Sometimes I'll go from the D9 to this one, which is again a slightly more complicated version. This is a 7 flat 9 again, actually. So this is the 10th fret, nothing on the 5th string, 10th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. A little bit of vibrato, a little bit of neck wobble there if you want. So G major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D7, G, A minor 9, then we're into the verse. So I'd simplify the chords for the verse, and I'm just using this little pattern of going thumb, first finger, fingers 2 and 3 together, and then back to the first finger. G major 7 to A minor, to A minor 7, to D7, same thing again. E minor 7 to A minor 7. You might play D7 like this just to keep it a little different. G major 7. From now E minor 7, our A minor 7 will be D7 of B7 to E minor 7, A minor 7 to D7 or D augmented. Little pause there if you want. Same verse 2. G major 7 to E minor 7 to A minor 7 to D7. G major 7 to E minor 7 to A minor 7 to D7 if you want to do it differently. G to E minor 7 to A minor 7 to B7 to E minor for a whole bar to G7. I nearly always add this G7, just this chord. I'm not using 3rd finger, so not playing that string. And then often I'll add in this sharp 5, G7, G7 sharp 5. That's the 3rd finger go down the 4th fret of the 2nd string, just because it leads so nice to the C major 7. Okay, which is the bridge. So we got C major 7 once again. Now this is a C minor 6 chord, not the most common chord. You might not have encountered this one before. 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, 1st finger 2nd fret on the 3rd string, little finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, and 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the thinner string. It's a C minor 6. Some arrangements use a C major 7 to C minor major 7 there. I prefer the sound of the minor 6, even though the melody is playing the major 7, which clashes a little bit. Okay. Once again, as in B minor to B flat diminished. Okay, this is 6, 5, 6, 5. Not playing the 5th string or the thinner string. Once again, as in olden days, golden A minor 7, D7 to G major 7 for a whole bar. then the weird part, faithful friends who are dear to us. Loads of different songs use different chords for these two here. I think the ones that sound the nicest is this C sharp minor 7 flat 5. This is 4th fret, nothing on the 4th string, 4th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. And the reason I'm picking this particular grip is because that was the melody. I never seemed to get that melody right, no. Just didn't worry about it. Faithful friends that are dear to us. The rest I'm trying to be a bit more careful about. So I didn't finish explaining that very well, did I? So C sharp half diminished to F sharp 7 flat 9, just so we can keep that melody note. Okay, this is 3rd fret on the bass string, and then 4th fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret on the thinnest 3 strings. B minor 7, which we should know already, to E7. A minor 7 to D9 usually. Could play again D7 if you want, but I'll show you why in a second. And then I use A minor 11. Okay, so this is 5th fret, nothing, 5th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret to D7 or D augmented. Okay, just because otherwise it's doing the same again. So it's nicer, I think, to do A minor 7 to D9, A minor 11 to D augmented. Last verse, slightly different, starts the same. We all will be together if the fates allow. I did the E minor 7 differently there. Just you might want to use that one. You don't always have to use the E minor 7 that way. I quite like this one as well. 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. It's allowed. And again, moving from A minor. Just nice to do that little melodic movement there. G major 7, hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Sometimes I would do a little that minor major 7, minor 7, going to G7, like we did going into the bridge, doing the G7 sharp 5, C major 7. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now. And then the outro again, it's these same 4 chords. Nice finishing, that one, doing the D9, D7 flat 9, and then you get that nice little movement of from here to here. Okay, this is a G6 9 again. 3rd fret, nothing, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. As far as the rhythm goes for this song, it's a good idea to keep a fairly solid pulse there for the verses, but remember, adding little tasteful pauses in at the end of the lines can work really well. If any of you have seen my lesson on the falling leaf, where I describe it as being like the tempo kind of speeds up, slows, and then slows and pauses and then goes back down again. It's got this little, and you want to do it with both the volume and the tempo together. That can work really nicely. So gradually slowing down and getting quieter and then falling back into it. Just even in the intro, having this, so there's a pulse. I'm doing it, exaggerating it now. There's big pauses there. Then we're into the verse. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. The pulse is here. Still keeping relatively good. And now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Here you can really slow it down again. And then continue back in again. So having these little, at the end of each section, having a little slowdown where you can pause and then come back into it again. I think that works real nice. I'm using fairly consistently this pattern of doing thumb, first finger, second and third fingers together, and first finger. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. But that's just a choice. It's just an arrangement decision. If you want to play it a different way, you want to slow it down or play it more finger style or more arpeggiated or with a walking bass or whatever, feel free to do it depending on what stuff you know. Same goes with the chords. While I'm trying to stick to relatively simple chords, but if you know other 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progressions that you like the sound of, then by all means throw them in. If you do want to employ some chord substitutions or alterations, do remember to be mindful of the melody. There are lots of times here where the melody is falling as a chord tone, so if you alter the chord tone or the kind of diatonic extension, it can sound a bit sour. From now on our troubles will be out. That's the ninth. If you play out, if you're singing out and that's a ninth and you play a flat 9, it's going to sound really it just doesn't sound pleasant. So do be aware of the melody that you're singing or playing or somebody else is singing. You don't want to be using an alteration or extension that clashes really bad with it. It just doesn't. It's not going to sound nice. So yeah, be mindful of that. But otherwise, I definitely encourage you to explore this chord progression. Do look up some other arrangements if you want as well, because there are loads and loads of alternate chord progressions that you could employ. These are the ones that I chose, but you might want to choose different, and that's totally fine as well. Otherwise, you might enjoy, if you're fairly new to this kind of style of playing, then this is probably not a bad place to start. I really hope you enjoy learning this song and playing it for friends and family over this festive season. There are loads more Christmas songs over on the website, from super simple strummy pop hits to more complicated fingerstyle arrangements of Christmas carols. Loads there to get into to enjoy over this time where you've probably got a little bit more time to play guitar as well. So I hope you have a very merry little Christmas, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.